Learners of class 11, welcome to the wonderful world of English language classroom. Learners, this is the part 2 of the first lesson, class 11 English, Kushwant Singh's The Portrait of a Lady. Learners, in the first part, we have seen the text, read, understood and interpreted the text. We have done many activities and at last we did some true or false typology of question, then multiple choice questions, and learners will continue. In this we will do some vocabulary and some grammar based on the text read. Come on, with me is Yukta.
So hello everyone, I am so glad to be here again.
Fine.
And thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Yukta. You did all the activities and we hope and believe that learners you also have done it. So, let me take you to the objectives of this lesson. Learners, objectives of this lesson, let us know it.
Okay.
At the end of this lesson, you learners will be able to interpret and analyze the text read shortly with one activity. Then we will deduce the meaning of the words from the text and use them in context. Then we also will learn how Kushwant Singh uses past perfect tense forms to denote the past actions, to report the past actions distant past. So, we will learn past perfect tense. Come on, Yukta, you must have enjoyed the story, doing the story in this one. Kushwant Singh's The Portrait of a Lady, his grandmother. So, I am going to ask you three things, you will have to say it in 2-3 sentences shortly, quickly. So, how will you describe the grandmother?
Okay.
Not the way he has done it, he has described it, fine, Kushwant Singh.
Okay.
How do you describe? What kind of lady, what kind of relationship? Come on.
Okay, so according to me, the grandmother is basically a very traditional woman, a typical Indian woman. She was very close with her grandson. She used to prepare him for go to school and recite prayers to him. So this shows that how religious and how caring she was towards her grandson. Also, their friendship has been into some different stages in life, but still she managed to keep up with her grandson, and she didn't got too emotional.
Fine, fine. And she was also very objective, no? Very
yes, very objective.
And he never was very not highly emotional or
yes.
This one, no? That was one thing. Now, second thing, describe Kushwant Singh as a boy and as you grew up into an adult, goes abroad and comes back.
Okay.
Always, what was he? Describe him.
Okay, so I think Kushwant Singh has always loved his grandmother a lot, and he has always obeyed her directions and instructions to recite prayer, though he never learned them by heart, but he followed her through the journeys of life, I think.
Fine. And he is again a modern Indian,
yes,
who had great dreams, go abroad, and so.
Yes.
But he never denied or rejected the grandmother's role in his life.
Yes, he always respected his grandmother.
Fine. Now, say something about the relationship, the friendship between the grandmother and the narrator, Kushwant Singh.
Okay, so the relationship, the bond between them was very special. In the childhood mainly, when Kushwant Singh was a child, and they used to spend so much time together, but when he grew up, he started going to college and then went to university, then their bond became a little slight, lower than before, and then after that, they were not in such
contact
bond.
at all.
Yes.
But Kushwant Singh recognizes that even though the grandmother was not talking to him, he says that our relationships got snapped.
Yes.
But even then it continues.
Yeah.
That's a typical Indian way of
Yes.
the family familial bond and relationship.
They both respected each other. The grandmother used to spend her alone time, and then the Kushwant Singh used to study abroad. So it was, a respect.
Fine.
Yeah.
Learners and Yukta, you must have noticed the same relationship, same friendship in our households, every household, in our neighborhood. Even the old people in the neighborhood would look at the neighbors, others children and grandchildren with compassion, tell them, and very interesting the bond of the familial life. That is one of the merits of Indian way, Indian culture, Indian way of living. So, let us also realize through this story the importance of it. This is one. I will give you at the end a writing task based on this. Now, let us move on to learn some vocabulary which Kushwant Singh uses in his writing.
Okay.
So, we discussed it in the first part. Come on, let us also take it up again. So, here are some sentences from the story. Number 1, her fingers were busy telling the beads of her rosary. We discussed it. What is telling? In the banks, teller is there who counts the money and gives it.
It means counting, counting the beads.
Beads. So, her fingers were busy telling the beads of her rosary means counting.
Counting the beads.
Look at the second sentence using the same word tell. I would tell her English words and little things of Western science were taught.
Okay.
So, what is the tell here? I would tell her that I was taught mathematics and science in my school.
He was letting her know something.
Yeah, making someone know something.
Yes.
So, first telling is, tell
The
is
counting.
Counting, second one. Third one, at her age one could never tell.
That means one could never be sure.
Yes, one could never be sure. So, at this age, at this time I could never tell this is true.
Yes.
So, sometimes
Not
we
sure.
say yeah, not sure. Okay. Then she told us that her end was near.
So now
Here tell, told, what does it mean?
it is, she's informing everybody.
So, learners, the same word could be used different connotations and denotation, mean figurative meaning and real meaning. Here all of them are real meaning. Telling the means counting, I would inform, I would tell someone, make someone know, and at her age one could never tell. At this time one could never tell,
Never be sure.
never be sure.
Yes.
Then telling, also informing. Come on. The same way Kushwant Singh uses some more words and phrases. Number 1, look at these sentences. To take to something, he says she was taken ill.
Yes.
Then take ill. Take to something is to begin to do something as a habit. He took to drinking
Yes.
as a result of his failure.
It became a habit.
He took to riding on bicycle every day as a habit. So, Kushwant Singh says the next day she was taken ill. We do not take illness deliberately, but this is a usage in English. Took ill. Look at that, take to something, take on something. So, like that the word verb gets its greater meaning adding some preposition or adverb, some other thing.
Okay.
So, that we call it phrasal verbs.
Okay.
So, the example Kushwant Singh gives is to take to something. He has taken to playing cricket as a habit
Yes.
in order to escape from his other habits.
Other habits.
So, the grandmother took ill, she
That means-
fallen sick.
Yes.
Okay, learners, let me take up the word now, take again and put the prepositions or some other words in order to make them phrasal verb. I am going to give you, I was just looking at it, Yukta, I found take can form 16 or 15 phrasal verbs.
Oh.
Come on, it is there on your screen. Let's look at it. Take aback, take after, take apart, take away, take for, take in, take off, take on, take over, take through, take to, we have seen that, take up. So, learners, phrasal verbs are formed an addition of mostly preposition and sometimes others also. I am going to give some examples of this take phrasal verbs. Look at the sentence which appears on your screen. You are going to make sentences on your own. Take aback. Yukta was taken aback by the news. What does it mean?
Yukta was surprised by the news.
Yeah, shocked by
Shocked by the
sometimes
news.
shocked. Yeah. Yes. So, learners, make your own sentences. I am not going to give any activity. You make your own sentences. Take aback, taken aback. Can you formulate another sentence?
Okay. I was taken aback when I saw my mom.
Fine. And you are doing something else. Okay.
Yes.
Got redundant probably.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Take after. She looks like her aunt. She takes after her aunt. Meaning, what does it mean? Sometimes you say, hey, you look like your elder sister, or you look like your grandmother. So, that we say English, it is also said she takes after her grandmother.
Okay, to
So,
look like someone.
look like someone.
Yes.
Yeah, particularly in the family. Come on, say, formulate a sentence.
I take after my father.
A father. You look
Yes.
like your father. Fine.
Yes.
Good thing. Your father would be very happy to learn that. Fine. Take apart. Let me give an example. Then you will have to supply another example. Another sentence.
Okay.
The press persons took the leader apart by asking difficult questions. Sometimes you put people into difficult situations. Come on, I am saying the one illustration. You will have to supply another. The press person took the leader apart by asking difficult questions. Come on, go ahead.
So, it can be.
Sometimes you put embarrassing questions, difficult questions, then the person is taken apart. So, sometimes when children are caught, you ask some questions, they would not answer. This is one. For the adults, we ask some embarrassing questions, so then they are taken apart. Or
Like I took the teacher apart by asking her personal questions.
Fine, all right. So, that is fine. Then take away. Take away, there are two meanings. I am going to give you two sentences. You have to make at least one sentence anyway.
Okay.
What is the takeaway from this class? Learners watching everywhere and you also. So, what is the takeaway for me from this class? The other one, they have taken away my important papers, physically taken away.
Yes.
The first one is something else. Come on. What is the takeaway from this? And nowadays, if you in the restaurant, they will say takeaway or dining. They will ask. That is also so takeaway restaurants.
Yeah. Physically, when we take away something physically.
So, another takeaway, make a sentence.
So, what is the takeaway from this class would mean what did I understand from
What
this class?
did I learn? What have I learned?
Yes.
So, what is the takeaway from the Prime Minister's statement? What is the takeaway from the particular happening around the world?
Yes.
Okay. Take over. Shrill has taken over as the chairperson from Karan. So,
Okay.
you take charge of it. So, come on, make a statement.
Can you repeat this one, please?
Okay. Take over. Shrill has taken over as the chairperson of the company from Karan.
Okay. Inherited something. Or
Inherited or take charge of it, not necessarily inherited.
Okay.
Suppose let us say we can also say Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi took over the Prime Ministership from Dr. Manmohan Singh.
Okay.
So, someone takes over the so and so takes over the directorship from someone else, means
Okay.
stepping into the shoes of someone.
Okay,
So,
okay.
that is another example. Learners, let us understand what a phrasal verb is. It need not give the same meaning of the stem, that the root verb. Suppose take is physically you pick up something.
Yes.
Take away is not always the same. So, what is the take away from the class? What is the take away from this pandemic?
One word, how one word can mean different meanings.
Yeah, fine. Okay, learners, we are not going to do lot of activities with that. I am going to give you one word, one word which may form many phrasal verbs. Then you try, pick up the dictionary and consult it and do it as your task, and we will see. Here are the words. Yukta is going to read out for you.
Okay, so here are some phrasal verbs with come over, come up, come along, come back, come off, come on, come over, come through.
Fine. The other two are come up with. Learners, these are the words, you watch it, then consult the dictionary. So, we will stop there the phrasal verb. Let us move on to how Kushwant Singh had used in his description of the grandmother past perfect
Okay.
to denote the distant past. So, I am going to read out some illustrative statements, descriptive statements which Kushwant Singh uses, writes in the story The Portrait of a Lady. So, we will learn from that. This is just noticing the form. First statement, my grandmother was an old woman. She had been old and wrinkled for 20 years that I had known her. People said that she had once been young and pretty and had even had a husband, but that was hard to believe. Let us look at the sentence, Yukta. There are many places he has used had been, had known.
Yes.
This is past perfect, we know, heard plus the third form of the verb. So, why does he use this? It happened long ago. Now, he is a grown up man, 25 and above. He must have written at the age of 30s or even in 40s, we do not know.
Yes.
But he was describing an events which took place in the distant past. So, we use that. The second statement Kushwant Singh makes in the story is, when we both had finished, we would walk back together. Yukta, learners, when we both had finished, we would walk together. So,
Okay.
walking happened first or finishing the work happened first?
Finishing the work.
Okay. So, learners, for the earlier action in the past, we use past perfect, had finished, then we would walk together. So, they
Yes.
started walking after having finished the work. Come on. Then the same way, next statement, when I came back, she would ask me what the teacher had taught me. When I came back, she would ask me, there are three actions.
Yes.
I came back,
And
she was
asked
asking
me
about what the teacher had
Had
taught.
taught.
So, when I came back, she would ask me what the teacher had taught us. Which was the first action?
Came back.
No. When I came back, she would ask me what the teacher had taught. So, he comes back after having been taught.
Ah, okay.
So, what the teaching was the first action.
Yes.
For the earlier action in the past, we use past perfect.
Yes.
Okay. Then it was the first time since I had known her that she did not pray. It was the first time I had known her that she did not pray. So, that knowing is she had not prayed, then he came to know of it. Next, the sun was setting and had lit her room and the veranda with golden light. So, sun was setting and already it had lit the room golden light. Come on. Now, what do the past perfect verb forms denote here? They all refer to events in the past and an earlier event before an event. Some of them, he said she had been old, wrinkled for 20 years, but then now he see her as very old, wrinkled, but she had been wrinkled for the previous action.
Yes.
Come on. So, read the following sentences. Come on, here are some sentences to notice the form. Come on, Yukta.
First sentence, I had been in my primary school 10 years ago.
So, when was it?
10 years
Long
ago.
back.
Yes.
After that, many events took place. Had been in the school. Yeah. Then.
Second, it had been a memorable experience during that period.
Okay. It had been. Again, distant past.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had good teachers who would take care of us.
Okay. They took care of us, but they had you had. Look at it. The same verb used as past and past perfect. Third form of the verb is had.
Yeah.
And past also had. So, had. Very interesting usage. Come on.
Okay. Fourth sentence, my grandfather had visited my school many times and would meet my teachers.
Okay. He had visited many a time in the distant past
used
and
to.
would meet him.
Yes.
Come on, learners, some task for you. When we had both finished our work, we would walk back together, meaning we have discussed this. had finished the work first, then walked
And
together.
then walk together.
So, there are two actions learners. The earlier action you use past perfect, the later action you use past.
Yes.
When I came back, she would ask me what the teacher had taught me. So, teaching took place first, then later two actions. So, I am going to ask you to make two sentences at least based on this understanding of past perfect and past together. Yeah.
Okay, so one would be when I had reached the station, the train has already left.
Now, you are making two actions you are saying.
Okay.
So, train had already left, then you reached.
Yes.
So, say it.
When I reached the station, the train had already left.
Learners, there are two actions, the earlier action in the past one. So, both actions took place in the past. Then next statement.
When the teacher entered the classroom, the student had been quiet, had
Become had been quiet, had become silent, quiet.
Yes.
So, the teacher entered, on seeing him entering, they had already become quiet. So,
quiet.
learners, what we need to understand in order to describe the distant past events, past perfect, if there are two events, the earlier one is in past perfect, the later one is in past. Come on,
Okay.
learners, thank you Yukta and the learners there. Let me ask you to go through the lesson again and do the activities. Learners, let me also inform you, let me also tell you here, means inform you that the each lesson has lot of QR code activities. You may decode the QR code of your lesson by any mobile or any gadget, then you will see lot of activities. Please try to do them. They are very informal and very simple. You need not have to be very serious doing it, casually doing it. Come on, let me stop there. Before we thank you, Yukta and the learners there, let me give you a writing task. We have seen Kuswant Singh describing his grandmother very lucidly, very nice images he uses, mountain, expanse of serenity, peace, but at the same time describing her as a real person.
Yes.
So, he leaves to us to decide upon right or wrong thing, her many of her qualities. The same way learners, pick up either your grandfather or grandmother, write a page 2-3 paragraphs and revisit them and improve it. Yukta, will you do it?
Yes.
And if any elderly person in your neighborhood. So, in order to write that, there is a process we have to undergo to do a good write up. We call it process approach to writing. Learners, here are the steps which appears on your screen. First is jot down the points, then make an outline. Jot down the point means, oh, my grandmother, what are her qualities, how she appeared, you put down. Then make an outline, what I will write first, what will go next, then write your first draft, revise it, correct it and finalize it. This is your homework or schoolwork, whatever work. Please learners do it. Thank you very much learners there for having been part of this class, parts 1 and 2. Thank you Yukta.
Thank
We
you
will
so
meet
much.
in the next lesson next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much everyone. Take care.